Okay, we are live. We are live with October Red. How you doing?
All the better for being on the channel with you, Beats.
That's great. That's good.
Do you know
That's
what I
good.
mean? Thanks for keeping me company in the morning.
Oh, on the runs, yeah. I
Yeah.
wish, I wish my videos could inspire me to work out like that.
Listen, I know if I put a beat video on, say if they're about 20 minutes, I know I can watch 2 of your videos and that's my run done. So it's perfect timing.
100%. Okay. So there's loads to start. I think we were gonna start with this Dana White thing, weren't we?
Yeah.
I think we were gonna go there.
Well, we've both been following it. I think not a lot of people are looking at it. But I think both of us, I think I'm going to be quite bold and probably say that we're the only channels that's really digging into it and having a look at it and seeing it for what it is. I sent you an article today, right? But I think you might have seen it already, where it was
Right.
the
The California State Athletic Commission, they postponed the votes.
Yeah. So now
Yeah.
it's put back till Christmas. So, and I think it's because of the comments, because your latest video, you were saying that people were complaining about it, you know, fighters, parents, fighters, managers, whoever, and saying, no, it doesn't work. It's not going to work. It's going to make it worse. The fighters aren't going to get the money that they deserve. So, yeah.
That's what they're saying. But are they being fair though?
They can only, from what I've read from it, Beats, they want, how I see, and correct me if I'm wrong, UBOs, it's going to be good for things like healthcare. That's kind of like the carrot. We're going to look after you. We're going to provide proper healthcare. We're going to make sure you don't get this poor minimum round payment or whatever it is. So there's a bit of a carrot there. They want to build their fighters. But from how I see it, it's like it's going to shut out the other belts, because like you said, the promoter and the manager can be the same person. So the interests where you've got potentially a manager fighting for the fighter to get the best deal, the promoter promoting the fighter, you know, their job is their job. Now you're going to have, a bit of it's going to be corrupted, because you've got one person doing the job of 2 people. So we always hear the best are going to fight the best. We don't want it to just be the top of the card where everyone's watching the fights. But, Beats, you got to think about it. Fighters have got to build. So if they're looking at cream of the crop fighters,
right,
they've got to start somewhere. Is it going to like freeze certain fighters out? Is the money going to be capped? What's going to happen to the sanctioning bodies? Maurizio Sullivan did his own kind of investigation. I spoke about that on my channel. What's going to happen to the belts? What's going to happen to the other promoters? Is this going to be the place to be and everyone else gets frozen out? I don't know. What do you think?
The biggest problem right now is they at least need to hear what he has to say. They need to say, okay, Dana, Turkey, can we have a press conference where you detail how rigid are the caps?
Yeah.
What if the fighter is sidelined like the the Martinez, the flyweight was talking about?
Yeah.
Does he have any options to work? He needs to work. Like, will you? How rigid is the contract structure going to be? Are you going to allow him to perhaps fight on the zone card or somewhere else?
They're not going to allow that. I can't see that happening, Beats. I can't see them saying, yeah, all right then. Why would benching you here? Yeah, go and fight on a matchroom fight, or go and fight on. That ain't going to happen. Could UFC fighters go and fight somewhere else, Beats?
But you see, the thing is, right? October, right? UFC, MMA is not boxing.
Yes.
Right? He cannot approach this like it's UFC. He cannot.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why he needs to be like sat down. What are the objectives? Like, because I don't think the contracts are going to be that long, because he was talking about basically a development ground or a breeding ground, to be crude, to pass on to the TKO belt. Once the fighters are developed, they'll go on to the bigger stage, which will be the Ring magazine with Turkey.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard you mention that, because I haven't seen that Dana White interview. That's what I'm saying. That conversation that you had, that broadcast that you did the other day, was very informative, because I haven't been catching up with what Dana White's saying. So he's kind of saying, yeah, mine is kind of like the school that you go through to graduate to go and fight on the, I don't know, the Saudi cards.
Right. I think he needs to be heard out. And I think he's so hated. And like, see, the thing is, like, when people hate people that much, they don't want to listen to anything. They don't want to even like hear it out. They're just like, get out the sport. They just want him out.
True.
Is not, I want to say adult. It's not an adult way to approach it. You know.
Yeah, but why do you think people hate him?
Let them speak. The more you let's say he was the biggest screw up in combat sports ever. Let's say he was, right? The best way to get him out is to let him speak. Because that's where, like, people who are really messed up, the more you let them speak, they're gonna give themselves away.
Yeah, true.
But at this moment, they're just gonna go ahead and, like, listen, money talks at the end of the day, right? So if people just want to cancel him, Turkey's got enough money to make it just go ahead, and then they won't have to answer no questions.
Well, who was that? What was the name of the MMA fighter? Sorry, it skips my memory.
His name was Martinez. I forgot his name. He was a flyweight.
And he got, what was it, 13? Was it 10 million? 10.3? What was it?
No, that's Anderson Silva.
Yeah, him. I know you're saying it's not boxing, but part of the lawsuit, because I read what he took them to court for, and it was literally like coercive behavior, not coercive. You get that in like domestic violence cases,
right?
So he's been done for like coercion, and you know what that means. You're being sort of gaslit into doing things that you don't want to do. That's
Tom,
deep.
do you mind if anyone else joins the conversation?
Sorry, yeah, who? Yeah, go on, whoever. Yeah.
If Karma, Danny, or Lennox want to jump in, the link is here.
Yeah, man, jump in.
Yeah.
I'm sure. What was it? What's the fighter's name again, Beats? I'm losing my memory.
Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva. Let me have a look at the lawsuit.
Now, he was pretty good, and like the exclusivity of the UFC contracts, right? From 2014, I think a few fights took lawsuits out because it's so rigid, they can't negotiate anywhere else for a better deal. And I guess that, like, the closest like you could charge Dana for is like it's constraint of trade, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? And, but we need to have it out. We need to have it out with Dana. Like a big press conference needs to be held. I'm sure Turkey will do it. And then go from there. Sorry, let me just read this super chat. Big up Lennox. He says, as someone who has worked in professional sport for 10 years, UFC model is not good for fans or anyone else. That is the sentiment.
There you go then.
Yeah. So what, should we just get rid of him then without having to talk, Lennox? Is that what we should do? All right, I'm going to ask you that first, October, then Danny can answer. Should we just get rid of him then without hearing him out?
No, I agree with what you've said regarding the transparency. I believe that, the TKO, it's kind of formed out of nowhere. I do believe that we need some kind of transparency on what their objectives are, what they're going to be like with the fighters. Like you said, a fighter's going to be benched. Are they going to be tied in? Can they fight elsewhere? Their pay scales, is it capped? External sponsorships, what are they allowed? because this lawsuit with Anderson Silva was going on for a decade. That's a hell of a long time for a lawsuit.
Yes.
I understand these proceedings can take time, couple of years, 3 years, but 10 years. And after 10 years of fighting, he finally comes out with the sum of that. I think I agree with what you said. Frank conversations need to be had because these are fighters that are, like, quite rightly so, like you spoke about on your show. Fighters are going in the ring and potentially going to be losing their lives. I spoke to Joshua Buatsi Beats. He's no longer this guy that is looking at belts. He said, you know, there's a former world champion that has got the belt, but he's got no money and he's doing a 9-to-5. So these guys have got to be businessmen and women, be shrewd and concentrate on how much they're getting paid in regards to the risks that they're taking to go in and fight. I look at it from that point of view. But do I think we should dash out Dana? No. But let him, like he said, let him have his say. But we need to see what's going on because it's all a blur. Why is His Excellency gone to Dana when he's got experienced boxing promoters? Why is he all of a sudden jumped on the UFC thing? Eddie Hearn was talking about, I love the UFC model. It's almost like we've bled out all of our secrets. We've let them know what the game plan is. And then my man's there with the change and he's just literally, he's got the money and he's doing it his own way and he's pulling people. Listen, I've got my own opinions on that and I'll keep them to myself, to be fair. But why has he gone to Dana when he's got experienced people in boxing that he could have done business with?
What's up, Danny?
Yeah, what's up, man? How's it going?
Yeah, man. This topic, it's very polarizing. So I would appreciate, you know what I mean, your take on what we've said and what you think about it.
Yeah. Do I want Dana to get dashed out? No, but I don't really particularly want him in boxing, but you always got to give someone a fair shake, even though I feel that his shake will ultimately be his demise, because I don't think his mindset is about paying fighters really serious, like boxing style purses. He talks about, you kill what you eat, what you kill type stuff. And the reason why he went Turkey went to Dana is because he knows Dana will cap and nicely budget some of Turkey's shows where Turkey's obviously put out a lot of money with Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. But I feel that the better person he could have gone to if he wanted to do an American promoter would have been like the PBC lot. I know that they've kind of failed with their pay-per-view model and stuff like that, but when it comes to promotion of fights, I feel they do it a lot better than what Dana's done. Because even this week with this Canelo Crawford thing, I don't think it's really been that well promoted. Most of it, I think I haven't seen any of this fight week really, because it's not really promoted well. It's not really trending. Everyone's excited for Saturday. I'm sure people are going to tune in, but the whole build up, no one's putting out any clips of anything really. There's nothing to really talk about because it's not really promoted well enough. And this is the thing, even with Dana White, with UFC fight weeks, they're not really exciting. The most exciting bit, you might see a weigh-in where they do the square up and one person tries to, get a bit argy-bargy or whatever, but that's about it. The actual fight week for Dana is actually very dull for UFC. So I don't think he's actually mastered how to promote fight weeks, and that's a very important part of boxing.
I think he's stonewalled. I think the promoters have stonewalled him. None of the American promoters are advertising it, and none of the Brits are either. I think they've stonewalled it on purpose.
Well, okay. They are saying, like, the media across the pond are asking if Turkey is suppressing the media over there. Like,
interesting.
They're feeling a bit, intimidated to speak their thoughts if they object to any of the what's going on. So.
It's funny you should say that, Beats.
Very interesting.
Well, have you heard anything?
No, I feel there's sections of the media in the UK who feel that way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, have you guys heard anything, or you
You can see it. You can see how things have changed. I've only been doing boxing for what, 4 or 5 years now, and it's changed a lot, and it has had a knock-on effect on the media. It's almost like there's a pyramid scheme, and you're either at the top, and the top is the one that is granted the most access, etc., etc. And it's almost like it's a tiered media system now.
Yes, very tiered. There's been sections of the media I've heard from Beats and October of where they feel it's a tiered system. They feel people are blocking access and even accreditations. But then even if they get accredited, then there's blocked access where people can get backstage and some can't. So there's AAA media, and then there's A, and then there's like, Z list. Whereas before it was a bit more of a free-for-all. People are getting, even for instance, like some of the West End press conferences, people get access to be there 2 hours ahead of everyone else, but then still get to jump in the car and do a car ride interview straight after as well. So it's like what Derek Chisora said. Some people are hogging the pie very heavily and not spreading. And I don't expect them to spread the love, but I feel that the powers that be could make it more fairer.
Yeah, but that goes all the way down the chain, though, doesn't it? Because, like, you guys do a bit of media yourself. Let me tell you this now: every event you turn up, there's somebody who maybe a bit bigger than you, thinking, "What are they showing up for?"
Yeah, for real.
Because they're thinking that you're eating into their pie.
For real, facts.
They don't want people there. I remember once covering the Wayne when Chris Eubank fought Reynold Quinlan.
Yeah.
And this old English guy, he was stepping to me asking, like, I said, look, just get out of my way, bro. Because I mean, like, I'm quite sure people get out of my way.
There is an entitlement, I agree.
You know what I mean? Oh, I see you're just using the phone to interview people. I said, look, step aside. Step aside, bro.
Okay, well, in that case, nothing's changed, Beats.
Oh, nothing's changed, no?
I'd say, like you said, there's a tiered system. There's definitely a tiered system.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's that's me. That you've asked me a few times why I don't do media. There's a few reasons.
That's why.
There's a lot of scumbags out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of scumbags. One of the major media outlets on YouTube, the white guy don't work there no more. He was a scumbag.
Serious?
Okay, raw.
Physically threatened people.
Serious?
Yeah, he did. He did.
And
it is what it is, man. But yeah, Turkey. I think he stopped Lance Pugmire. He won't be going over there.
What's happened to Ariel Helwani?
They cancelled him.
Can you come back to the front, please?
Oh, did he get cancelled?
Did he?
I don't know. I don't think he did. I think he's been on holiday. I know the Zone cancelled him and Ade's show, but
Did they?
Yeah, they cancelled the show.
Why?
Probably wasn't doing the views.
That's interesting. I thought them. I didn't listen to it.
A long time ago. Okay.
Oh, someone's put in the comment. Okay, fair enough. I need to get with it. Interesting. Well, there you go. So, like I've said, there's changes. There are changes.
So, what was the last show that you did do for media then, Beats?
Oh, I can't remember now, man. Like, I can't remember. It's been a while. It's been a while. Probably somewhere at York Hall.
Okay.
I got so fed up with it. I just used to go York Hall and watch the show and not do the media at all. So I said, let me not just take the accreditation and let me just leave.
Yeah.
Just watch the show. I just couldn't bother to do it.
Yeah. But back to this though, you're right. Look, I've got the notifications on my phone, so obviously I know that the press conferences, we have got obviously the time zone difference. But when it comes to, like, you do get Sky Sports speaking about fights, DAZN obviously are putting up their bits, but they're not for this because this is Netflix. So you've got all of that to contend with as well. So I guess there's a lot of politics in boxing, but I'm a huge fan of Netflix in boxing, and I've always been quite open about that.
Yeah. It hasn't been a great promotion, I guess, but I guess I'm looking more forward to the fight than anything.
True.
You know? So I guess I haven't really been that critical of the promotion, but yeah, it probably could have been better, you know. But Dana, I don't know, Dana. People just don't like Dana, man. They just don't like him. They don't like him, and they probably justified. I can't argue with all the people who dislike him. It's a whole load of people. Ronda Rousey's mum, I mean, she's not keen on him being there. Rachel Donaire,
yeah. Is it Nonito Donaire's wife? Was it
his
all?
wife, yeah, his wife and his manager.
Yeah. But even the UFC guys, even that current champion, Khamzat Chimaev, he doesn't like Dana.
Conor McGregor don't like him. I don't think Feed likes him.
Yeah, Ngannou. So it goes down the, it goes across the board. So he's not been popular even in his own original sport. But then that does cross over into the boxing. People like, what's he going to do over here? Is he going to do over fighters? And some people are saying the format and formula that he's talking about using, that pro box already do it.
Which is what?
That's Gary Jonas, yeah. They're doing a development and they head on to the PBC sort of thing.
Oh, like a development program.
Yeah. And to be fair, if you look at it, Frank Warren's doing that already himself, because if you're talking about, you start off on the WBM, Warren Boxing Management, then you if you get promoted up to the Box Nation cards, and then from the Box Nation cards, then you get promoted onto the Queensbury cards, and then from obviously Queensbury, you get onto Riyadh season.
You need that. You've got 9 million fighters, though, don't you? Frank's got Frank's got a bag of fighters, man. He's got to put them out somewhere.
Yeah, so there's already people using this formula already. So I don't know how Dana's going to get on with that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's no different than just the small hall promoters and promoting their fighters, and then eventually they'll go into a bigger stage with either Frank, Eddie, or Bob, etc. So it's not exactly unique. It's not exactly unique.
I think Eddie will be good competition because Eddie's the one that's got that vim in him, that his ego won't want Dana to step in and try and, I don't know, stomp him out. So I know Eddie's just gonna he'll be strategic. I want to see what Eddie Hearn's gonna do. He did a really good interview, and I want to shout out to Andrew McCart from IFL, where he was selling his younger fighters and basically saying that globally he's got the best, stable. It will be Matchroom. They are the number one, global promoter, and he doesn't want to take it on.
Frank. It's not Frank. It's like Frank is strong at heavyweight, but where else is Frank strong?
Yeah. Wait, it's the heavyweights, isn't it? It's the heavyweights in the UK, but Eddie, it's always been global for Eddie. He knows that.
Yeah.
But he'll take Dana on.
See, Dana could have spent a whole load of money. Is it with Zuffa? They were speaking about it on a video, but he didn't spend the money because he was friends with the people whose money he had to spend. But it seems like he thinks he's found a mug in Turkey, El Al Sheikh. So he says, "Oh, I can mess around with Bob and Eddie by using this guy's money who he doesn't care about." So,
well, he's a fool if he thinks that His Excellency is a pushover, because he can just pull that plug anytime he wants. And you see what he does. He kind of flitters around. He puts his stamp everywhere, and then when he gets bored, he'll move on to something else or someone else, because that's what he's done, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I don't think Dana cares if Turkey pulls out. I mean, like, I think Dana was just gonna like just ride it until he can't ride it. So if he pulls out or not, I don't think he cares. Dana just seems like someone who seems detached from boxing. I don't feel boxing.
What's up, guys? We have just done a deal
Dana.
to start a new
He loves
boxing league with Turkey, who absolutely.
I don't feel he loves boxing.
What's that interview from? Beats. Is that when was that?
That was
the original announcement.
No, that was one of the original announcements. Yeah.
And then did you see when somebody asked him questions, Beats, that he was like, yeah, calm down. We haven't even decided on who we're going to have broadcast it yet. That was the last Dana White interview that I watched.
He'd probably crumble in a press conference. Like, what's going? Like, he'd probably crumble because what Dana has to realize, yeah, boxing has been going back since when Tunisia in, like years back. This is probably the oldest sport ever, right? You can't just come over here and not expect to,
to get some pushback.
Yeah, get some pushback and be tested. And like when Eddie Hearn went over to America, he got tested, didn't he?
He did. Ellaby was one of them that went for his neck. But where is he now?
You got to get tested. So you can't be like, oh, I'm just not going to answer questions. It's crazy. That's crazy.
Lennox has just put a good point in there. Dana White does not want to compete on an even playing field, which is why he's looking to change the Ali Act to allow himself a competitive advantage.
See, this UBO thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who can really afford? Like they're saying, who can afford that? Because to run a UBO, right, you need a promotional outlet, you need a broadcaster, more importantly.
Yeah.
Who can afford all that? Like, you've got to be able to make sure you can do testing on every card, right? So most of what they call a club promoter, what we call small hall promoter, they can't afford that. They can't afford that, right?
Mm.
Bob Arum isn't going to try and run no UBO.
No,
they're not running no UBO, right? So it is a monopoly backed by Turkey's money. In a way, who else is going to do one? Who else can get access to the fighters?
The what? Exactly. Because that's what I'm saying, Beat. So it looks like what they're going to do is try and attract as much fighters as they can, because then it will make the traditional belts irrelevant, because the UBO will be the main belt. It will be the only belt, the most lucrative belt, because it has the best fighters and the best shows and the best fighting the best. That's all we hear about. So that's going to potentially, and I'm not talking about this time next year, I'm talking about 10, 15 years time, it could stifle and ruin the traditional boxing as we know it. That's a potential downfall for boxing, in my opinion. But what do I know?
Yeah, 10 years down the line, Dana won't be in boxing. But
you reckon?
No.
Nah.
You reckon he'll dip?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why? Because he'll get bored.
Yeah, Dana.
No, you find it too hard.
Yeah. Okay.
And that another reason that what you just said, that it's going to be too. These days just disliked so much. Like when I was covering the story, right? First, I didn't realize he was disliked that much because I don't really mess with UFC like that.
Same.
I said, whoa, they really don't like this guy. They just don't like him. And then it's backed up by his relationships with the fighters and people in the bit that just don't like him. Everyone's got a bad word or a bad experience, it seems.
So when you think of that, why did His Excellency choose him then?
Because despite all the criticism he's getting, he built probably the biggest martial arts franchise in the history of combat sports. That cannot be denied. Unless you're going to include wrestling, WWE or whatever. I don't know if they're any big. I don't know. But that's why. Because he did create something that no boxing promoter has created.
Yeah.
It was his own planet, basically. You know what I'm saying? Sanctioning body, promotion, everything. So
what did you put out, Beach? You said something about Maurizio Sullivan. What was he saying? I know he's questioned the UBO and the potential amendment to the Ali Act, but he also did he make another statement? Did you say he said something else?
He's
The WBC
handing the winner the belt on Saturday. The belt him and the other sanctioning bodies.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
See what I mean? So that makes the belt look like it's not relevant
Well,
because you're freezing it out.
They're going to give the winner the Ring Magazine belt, but the other belts looks like they're going to be hidden because by now everyone would thought there'd be like it would be sorted out, but no, I haven't heard anything anyway. I haven't heard anything. You know what I mean? But Mauricio said he's determined to get in that ring. They're going to have to get 2 security guards, but we'll see.
Well, that'll be interesting. I might just tune into it for that then.
Maybe Dana himself might block him.
You know what I'd like to see? Because say what you like about him, but Oscar De La Hoya, that is one person. You know, if he was free now and he just plugged into this channel, Beats, and he just came on here and just let rip. Because say what you want about Oscar De La Hoya, when he does his clapbacks, he does come with some facts. So I'd be interested to hear his take on it as a former fighter, turned promoter, etc., etc. I'd like to hear him go into detail about it. So I know he doesn't want Dana in boxing. However, he backs it up with reasons. He gives a rationale to why he doesn't believe that he's good for boxing.
I haven't heard any reason. I've heard a grievance. I haven't heard any reasons from him. That's what I want to hear. It's like him and Bob start, putting some bars on him, man. But I haven't. It seems like they're just airing out their grievance. You know what I mean? So, and as they're 2 major promoters in boxing, we need them to come with some receipts, not just airing out.
I don't like him.
Come with some receipts. Let's tell us why it's going to be bad. Tell us why. You know what I mean? But
didn't he try and get into it before?
Huh?
Didn't he try and get into boxing before? This is obviously before my time. Didn't Dana try his hand at boxing before?
Of course he did, but he didn't have that money backing him, so he stayed out of it because he knew that Bob Arum would crush him, Eddie Hearn would crush him, PBC would crush him, or whoever was there when he first tried. He flirted with it, but he realized he couldn't compete. He couldn't compete. See, UFC, who's he got to beat? Strike Force or a few of them up? Like that's not
Bellator.
Yeah,
Bellator, PFL. That's not really.
Yeah. Like it's easy. Not saying it's easy to knock out Bellator, Strike Force, or the rest of them, but that's different than competing with HBO, Showtime, and Bob and.
Well, what's happened to PFL and Bellator? Where are they now?
Lord knows.
Well, PFL's still going. I haven't seen Bellator for a while. Yeah, PFL's still going. I've seen that they've done shows recently.
Like, I don't even follow you.
Leon Edwards' brother just won the PFL title.
Was that PFL? Was it interesting?
Yeah, his brother just won it. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Wu Doc says Dana is a great business, but poor management skills. Yeah. Well,
if you look at it from that point of view, when you think about it, the job is to make money. Sometimes I guess you can lose a lot of money in boxing. And if Dana, and this is me giving a positive light on it, he's a very shrewd businessman. And if he's capping the fighters' money, charging X amount of money on the gate, pay-per-view, etc., it's always going to be top heavy with profits. So if you think about the business making money back for you, then yes, definitely. But that's like a capitalist point of view, isn't it? Because then the people at the bottom that are doing the graft aren't going to be receiving the same kind of lucrative benefits.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
fair enough. Look, see, the thing is, man, when you have these big corporate like entities, yeah, there's always going to be people in middle management and lower and staff who get squashed.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
bottom line is, he was producing views for whoever broadcaster the UFC was on. He produced. He produced
Yeah,
the pay-per-view numbers and the views,
yeah.
and the likes of Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
Rampage, Anderson Silva, all huge
Yeah.
stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
John
he did-
Jones.
yeah.
Usman for is it 88 kg? Is it 88 kg? I can't remember.
Yeah, Usman Kamara. Yeah, Usman. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why Turkey went to Dana.
Because to be fair, if you went to an MMA audience and started reeling off a lot of name of boxers, they probably wouldn't know who they are. But us, even though we don't follow the MMA like that, we know who the fighters are. So he's gotta be really good at promoting.
No, the MMA guys, they know the boxers. They know the all the top flight box because most MMA guys, they watch boxing. That was their first love of combat sports, and a lot of them switched over because they thought it was more hardcore and less rules, etc., etc. So they still follow boxing and watch a lot of boxing events.
But I don't follow it, but I still can tell you who the fighters are. And that's down to promotion. I don't follow MMA like that, but I know who the fighters are.
And one thing I will give Dana as well is that when you check out the UFC guys' social media following, and you look at the boxers' social media following,
that's interesting.
Their followers are a lot higher. The MMA,
Are
the UFC guys, yeah, a lot higher.
Okay. Yeah.
What, the boxers are higher, or the MMA fighters
No,
are?
the MMA guys, the UFC guys.
They've got a bigger following.
Yeah.
If you look at the bank balances of the top UFC fighters and the top boxers, the boxers are running away with it.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing about what I don't like with Dana White as well, which could be dangerous in boxing if he does this Ali Act takeoff thing, is because what he was doing with the UFC fighters, he set a rule in where they're not allowed to get sponsors, so they weren't allowed to have any sponsor logos on any of their paraphernalia or their trunks and stuff like that. They could only use his ones like Venom and Tap Out and stuff like that, which was always brandished the logos across the octagon, and that's where a lot of fighters was losing how much money because they weren't allowed to get any endorsements. They could only use the ones he was affiliated with, which obviously boxers, they tend to outsource, but he doesn't let them outsource.
To make that money up.
Yeah, but he doesn't let. So that's why they're capped in more ways than one.
So how much do you think these boys are getting paid to fight on Saturday? And you know what? I will quickly say a massive welcome back to Jermaine Franklin. I like that guy, and it's nice to see him looking happy, well, healthy, and obviously he's on this card. But when you look at the top, how much do you think Canelo and Crawford are getting paid under this new branding system? Because it's not going to be pennies.
Well, Dana alluded to that Canelo's getting 100 at least or something.
Wow.
I'm not sure what Bud's getting. I heard 30 from somebody. Yeah.
I haven't got a clue. What I realized is like the Riyadh season purses. The sources, like they just range from one end to the other, so it's hard to say. Like, what's the truth though, right? People say Mayweather got 400 million for fighting. Yeah. No combat sports artist is going home with 400 million. No one. It's not happening. One fight, no way. That's $500 million.
But remember, he was the promoter, and remember that when they're saying about 400, it's not that guaranteed purse. That's after pay-per-view revenue, sponsors who you blow and all that. That's the whole.
That's how much it generated, right?
Yeah.
That's
The gate
that's
is from the
is that
gate.
the gross or the net?
The net.
Right.
But the
That-
gross, obviously, you got to talk about expenses and stuff like that. We know that fighters ain't gonna add that factor. They're always gonna talk about the shiniest element of the purse.
Right.
Because when you do talk to fighters when they retire, they'll tell you, yeah, I got £1 million for my world title fight, but I got taxed 45%. Then I had to pay the trainer, then the manager, then the cut man, then the strength and nutritionist, then the strength and conditioner, then the nutritionist, and this and that. And in the end, after the £1 million purse, I walked home with like 400 grand or 375 grand. That's normally what happens.
That's
See,
insane.
it is the thing, yeah, right, with life. Like, it's horrible, but I'm just going to tell the truth, right?
Go on.
If Warren Buffett is given $1 million and me and all of us get $1 million, right? His million by whatever time period would have tripled and thing. We wouldn't, like, see, the thing is, yeah, it's a boys club, right?
Yeah.
Once you have money, you're in a secret society, basically, where you're able to make money, and boxers are not in that, right? That's why Joshua Buatsi said, I'm not fighting for belts.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not fighting for belts, right? You give Bob Arum $1 million, right, to invest and stuff like that, or Eddie Hearn. Matchroom's worth nearly $1 billion because they're in that circle. They're in that circle of people who know how to make the money circulate. You give Rupert Murdoch any amount of money, give him 50 pence.
Flip
right?
that.
He's gonna flip it.
Mm.
He's gonna flip it, right? And that's what Buatsi is saying. Like, boxers,
Yeah, I rate him for that.
got to look out for their own. But he doesn't care about belts now. That's what
Not
he said.
anymore.
He said he saw. What did you say? You said he saw a world champion working a regular 9 to 5.
And that was far away from home, uncomfortable situation. He goes, but you got the belt. And the geezer must have said, take the belt, man. That
No, he said if he could do it all, again, he wouldn't have gone for that world title fight. He would have took the deal, which was worth a lot more money, because there was a route and a deal, a contract offered where he was able to make more money in certain fights. But he went for the world title shot instead for the glory. But he said if he could do it again, he would have gone the other way. That's what I remember. Yeah, he said that in the interview. Yeah.
Crazy.
Because you remember, and I bet that realization, a lot of that, he might have had it before, but when he's just gone through a mad battle where his probably head was pounding in the morning from his last fight, he's thinking, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Like, listen, like I was saying to the people on the hangout the other day, Henry Cooper had to sell his belts when his investments into the insurance firm. He had to sell his belts, right?
Oh, heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, and somebody said it's back on the auction, and he sold the main belt, which was I think 7 karat gold or something like that, because he won 3 belts, and because he was winning so many, they only allowed you to win 1, and they stopped doing the
Lonsdales
belts. Yeah. And he sold the gold belt for about 40K. And someone told me it's back on auction now at a starting price of 50 or 60. But I don't know if it's been sold yet, right? And he sold his belts. Thomas Hearns has sold some of his belts, right?
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali's family sold the WBC belt that he won from George Foreman. I think they got $6 million for it, right? They sold that. You know, Johnny Basham's wife, former British European champion, she tried to sell his belt. No one bought the belt. So when people are saying fight for glory, like you guys are telling me with that story, I hope I don't know who the fighter is. It doesn't always pan out for the boxer.
Yeah, for real. And that's the truth. But to back up what Emma's saying, Emma was saying, obviously, Buatsi's saying that because his best chance of becoming a champion is from a vacant belt. What I will say with that, Emma, is I think Buatsi's wasted a lot of years with inactivity. I believe that there was a better chance of him becoming a world champion earlier on. And I did say to him he should have just kept the same trainer. I was quite vocal about him changing trainers because I don't believe that he's improved with his trainer. But look,
with Virgil Hunter, yeah.
Yeah. Because what's it? All right, then, Beats. You've been watching boxing for ages, forever. Yeah. You're a historian, a pugilist. How's he improved, Joshua?
I agree with you. I don't think he has improved. And the fact that when he was supposed to fight Bivol, he turned down the shot.
Yeah.
Left Matchroom, and then when they asked Virgil Hunter, is he ready to fight Bivol and Beterbiev? Virgil Hunter looked like at the media like, are you flipping crazy?
I remember that. He was like, hell no. He goes, no, we ain't ready for that.
Yeah, because they said, do you want to fight? What about Beterbiev? He goes, do you want to get brain damage?
Wow, that's sad. It's pretty sad. So he's basically saying he hasn't got no belief in him, and he's training him.
Imagine Beats. You're sitting next to that and you're thinking, bro, and you're supposed to be backing me.
Yeah. Who was training him before? Virgil.
Guess what?
Mark Gillespie.
Yeah, Mark Gillespie. And then before that, he was with, what was his, Rob McCracken? That was his original trainer.
Right.
And that's when he was clinical and vicious.
Well, that's because Rob had him knocking out brothers in the amateurs as well. Even the Olympics. Remember Floyd even wanted to sign him.
Didn't he, Danny? I think he won.
Yeah, he won the bronze. Yeah, but he was knocking out everyone before that, and that's why Floyd went there and watched him and said he wanted to sign him initially.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was his first offer. Floyd was TMT.
Wow, look at that.
Wow.
The money team.
Yeah.
Joshua's a talent and he's a fabulous boxer. But I just a lot of time. I'm not saying that he still hasn't got the skills to make something of himself, but I'm saying a lot of time. There's been a lot of gaps.
There's no way he should have been beaten. Like when I had to pick Callum Smith to beat him, I didn't want him because I think he should be able to beat Callum Smith. But I picked Callum because I just saw his development stifled, from years back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I remember October I picked Callum as well.
Oh, you picked Callum as well.
I'm always going to back Joshua. I'm back because I'm biased. I'm like Captain Bias. But I did say to Joshua in the interview to his face, listen, this ain't no easy fight. Callum's dangerous and it's on tape and it's there. So no one can't accuse me of being two-faced. But I'll always back Joshua because Joshua's Joshua, innit? And I like him. Yeah, whatever.
Here's why he lost that fight, right? Because when he was supposed to fight Bivol in 2023, you didn't fight him. When he was supposed to fight Vlasov, you didn't fight him. You didn't go back to them fights. And people keep saying, oh, look at Callum getting smashed by Beterbiev and he didn't perform against Canelo. He fought them, though, didn't he?
Yes.
He did fight them.
Yes.
So no matter what, you either take a bad experience from them losses or a good experience. But either way, it's make or when you fight Canelo and Beterbiev, it's make or break.
Yeah, Callum's got to
learn from it, or you're not. And that's what set him up for the victory against. He knew he had to throw more combinations because against Canelo, he didn't let his hands go. Against Barazzi, you saw him throwing in combinations. Barazzi hasn't got a gauge because he hasn't fought that level. He hasn't got a gauge.
You know what his trainer told me? You know what Buddy McGirt's Callum Smith's trainer? And I asked him about that fight. And I said, how did you know what to do with Buatsi? And he says, when we was sparring Buatsi, before him and Dan Aziz fought, Dan Aziz was Buatsi's sparring partner. And he worked out that Buatsi didn't like the body shots. So when Callum went in to fight Buatsi, he said, just keep going for the body, stick to the game plan. And the game plan was just to work his body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also he does when he has a burst, he needs a long break to recharge his gauge meter. Because where I clocked that first was when he fought Craig.
Yeah.
But Craig just didn't stamp his foot down and get onto him when he's trying to have these massive breathers after he's just trying to unload the kitchen sink. But also a great point which you said, Beats, about where Callum had gone through those fights and learned from him, and that's what set him up to win that fight. A great example of that, where people like to make fun of a fighter in Frank Bruno, but he took a beating 4 times. Bone Crusher Smith and Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, and Tim Witherspoon. But he went through all those beatings, and that's what was able to get him through the Oliver McCall fight. Because remember, late on in the fight, he was having the crisis, but he finally knew how to hold and duck, bob and weave and duck, like get through, to survive it, and then and get the victory and finally become world champion on the what 4th or whatever attempt it was.
Lennox is backstage, Beats.
Who's that?
Lennox says he's backstage.
But yeah, I'm just going back. I've got to jump off. But yeah, big ups to everyone. And yeah, man.
Yeah, big up, Danny.
Big up, Danny. See you Sunday.
If you leave your contacts if you can.
Oh yeah, everyone, subscribe to Fight Fan TV Live on YouTube, Fight Fan TV Live on Instagram, on Twitter, or X as you might call it now, is Danny Glover FFTV. Remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know what it is.
Yay!
I like to add to Danny's point, right?
Yeah.
Bruno lost to Bone Crusher Smith in '84, right? Got knocked out. He got hit with that right hand, and he didn't know what to do. Right, he got and what you have to Bone Crusher Smith is a thunderous puncher. People used to say, "Oh, Bruno hasn't got no chin." Let me tell you this now: if anyone had to take 10 clean unanswered shots from Bone Crusher Smith, let's see what kind of chin you have. He didn't hold. He didn't know what to do. Right, but when he got hit by McCall, right, some 11 years later or whatever it was, you saw the survival instincts came out. Right. And that's because he was working with George Francis. George Francis was making him swim in frozen lakes and stuff, and he toughened Bruno.
Wow.
He toughened
Frozen lakes?
Yeah. Oh, in cold lakes. That's what he used to do. George Francis was a crazy man. And the thing is, he wouldn't just he wouldn't just let the fighter do it. He'd go in and do it himself.
Okay, what's good for the goose, right?
Yeah. That's what he used to do to John Conte, to Bunny Johnson. Yeah. And that's why Bruno was prepped. And Boazzi, he's talented, man. But if he was to fight Yard, I'd pick Yard to win.
No, we're not. Beats, we can't do that. I'm so biased, it's unreal. And you know what? Yard is amazing as well, because he's Yard is Yard in it, but yeah, I'll always be Joshua Boazzi. I'll always be Team Boazzi. Always.
I like Boazzi, man. I like Boazzi.
Such a lovely guy as well, and I've met him and spoke to him so many times. I know they say you're not supposed to fall in love with the fighters, and I don't mean that in a weird sense, but I like Josh a lot, man. Honestly, Beats.
He looks too comfortable, October. He looks too comfortable.
You reckon?
I mean, he's always liked a bit of comfort, so that's the thing. So, and I just. Personally, I think he's never actually taken responsibility for what goes on inside the ring.
Right.
Yeah, and Beats, remember I said Virgil Hunter's never made anyone. Remember, hey, we go way back, yeah? Remember remember Danny, we go way back, and I'm the one that was telling Mandem about Virgil Hunter years ago. I said all his fighters get knocked out or beat up badly.
Except Andre.
Except Andre, but then you got a question.
It's the fighter, not the trainer.
No, it's the trainer, because you look at his resume and then you look at Ishmael Salas. You can't. You could only name one person that Virgil's quote unquote who he's credit with making is Andre Ward, and really
he did tighten up, and like for the Collazo and Devin Alexander wins, he did tighten him up a little for them wins.
A little, but yeah, I mean, what big changes did he make? Like,
that's the question.
Isn't it? The best we've seen Joe Joyce was with Salas.
True.
Yeah.
So I'm just, you know what I mean? we just got to compare trainers. Salas has got a resume, everything from lightweights all the way to heavyweights and amateurs. So you could see that's a trainer that makes a difference in fighters. Man, them go to Salas and Salas just trained Rolly to beat Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was in his corner. Yeah, we forget about that.
Yeah. How come Andy Cruz didn't go with Salas then, Lennox?
No, because Andy wanted something different. He liked actually it's weird.
He's an American fighter now, bro. That style.
No, he's not. I'm working on doing a piece with him for whenever he gets a shot at the belt, if that ever happens. But nah, he's not. He's mixing the things up.
Like Davey's got now. He's a Philly fighter, bro. He's a
no, Beats. I could tell. I told you way back when he first started training. I was like, "Rah, you see, Boots is taking Andy's moves." I remember that.
Yeah.
No, it's a two-way street. You know, I mean, I was worried about that. I was like, "La, he better not lose the footwork or whatever." But nah, he's still got it in him. And pause. But but you know what? We had a conversation, and I went back and I watched the remember we were going on about my man being what's his name's mandatory, yeah? So I went back and I watched Tank's last fight, and I was on the fence, you know what I mean? Obviously I'm admittedly said since Ami's, that's the only fight I've been a fan of. I went to Cuba to train with him or whatever. That's the only fight I'm a proper fan of, right? But I watched the last Tank fight, and I think I tweeted you, and I was like, I sent you a DM like, Beats, you were right. I actually think that I'd bet good money on Andy beating Tank now.
Yeah, I'd bet money on it. Yeah.
Hasn't he fought him before? Is that me tripping, or was it Rolly? Who's he fought?
Who's that? Andy Cruz.
Yeah.
He beat Keyshawn in the amateurs about, was it 4-0?
Oh, okay.
4 or 5-0?
My bad.
I mean, if we want to keep it objective, the last time they fought, Keyshawn was a 4-fight pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
He went back to the Olympics after 4 pro fights.
Okay.
And you see that Moratala, they're forcing him to fight Andy now. He's not going to be able to fight Schofield. See, they don't want to fight Andy, because since he like you are right. He's combining the Cuban style and the Philly style. The last few performances, he just looked like flipping out. They don't want to fight him now. They don't want to fight him.
Eddie's got, as they say, Eddie's got to pay the money. Eddie's got to pay the money, because honestly, the best fight at 135 that most people will hate, but I'd love, is going to be Cruz versus Shakur.
Imagine that.
Eddie ain't going to put. But then again, I don't think Shakur's with Eddie no more.
Yeah, I think he's gone, hasn't he?
Fight Cruz. They'll duck him. They're all going to try and duck him unless they're mandated or like they're getting paid huge, exorbitant purses. They're not going to fight him.
Yeah.
Put the Andy's chin suspect though.
Yeah, you know what? Them men have been trying to say that for about 4 fights, but clearly these lot don't watch boxing.
You think his chin is suspect, yeah?
Emma's put that in the comments. And I rate what Emma says because she knows what she's talking about. So
Emma knows the boxing, but what's she basing that on though? What's she basing that on?
Emma, elaborate, please, if you could. I think Andy Cruz is a problem. And I like the vim that he's got as well, and the fact that he was going after Shakur.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of fights this weekend. A lot of fights before we wrap up. Your thoughts on all right, let's start with Crocker and Donovan in Ireland. Anyone interested?
I am. I'm going to do a watch along for it.
You don't think it's going to be one-sided like the first fight?
Yeah, I think Paddy's going to win. Paddy Donovan. I've watched him for a while now. I think he's a really good fighter, and he's just nasty as well. Andy Lee's a good trainer. I like his style. he pushes a fighter from the back foot to the front foot. We've seen what he's done with Joseph Parker. Took a while to bed in with him, but yeah, I like Andy Lee's style, man. Aggressive. So yeah, I think
that matchup is Andy Lee versus the fats with the Scotsman that trains the fat brother.
Billy Nelson.
Billy Nelson. He's got
Yeah.
Cyrus
Yeah.
Patterson. He's got a couple of fighters.
Yeah, I don't rate Billy.
You don't?
No, I don't rate Billy. Go on. I think Andy Lee's fighter got DQ'd the first time, right?
He did,
Yeah, Donovan. Yeah, so I'm going Andy Lee for a cleaner victory.
Cleaner victory. Yeah, somebody that I think I was watching some of the press conference stuff, and they were saying that Crocker looks nervous, but it could be like, you know, the calm before the storm kind of thing.
He should do, because last time he was comprehensively outfought and outboxed. He should be like he hasn't had enough time. He hasn't had enough time to prep for that style. Is Donovan a southpaw as well?
Yeah.
No, this is not going to go well for him. It's not going to go well.
Yeah, it's a good fight. But you know what other fight I'm looking forward to on that card? Kievan Ajaku, Ishmael Davis.
Dark Thunder versus
Ishmael Davis.
What's his name? He's black.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't remember the name.
Ishmael Davis. He fought what's his name? Josh Kelly in the man. Yeah. Last two fights were very short notice for him.
Yeah. And then he got done by, but is it Bokachuk?
Bokachuk, yeah.
But I fancy Kievan in this fight, you know.
You do?
Yeah, because I like the work that he's doing with Swifty Smith. Callum's brother. He's with him now in Liverpool.
With what's his name? Callum Smith. I know what you're talking about. Stephen. Stephen,
yes, Swifty Smith. Is it Stephen? Stephen. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be British champion. Lee Selby beat him up. I remember that years back.
Boxing blood. What do you think then?
I don't think Carmen beats the Leeds kid
too much.
Yeah, I think Ishmael is going to come into what he's supposed to be, because he nearly beat Josh Kelly. To me, I think the fight should have been a draw.
I was about to say, yeah.
At least a draw.
Yeah, considering he had no notice for that as well.
Ajako's, he's not bad. He's got skills though, so I think it's going to be very competitive.
Yeah.
But you've got.
I mean, if he's got a full training camp, I see it's closer to 50-50, 45-55 fight.
Yeah.
To who?
Because what's his name? His last two fights with them dodgy short notice things, can't really judge a fight. And then the Josh Kelly fight was close for even being that short notice. So for me, my eye says he's better than he's shown in his last two fights.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to that fight.
I'm looking forward to that fight, actually.
You know what I mean? So it's not a bad card. I think Meatball Molly makes a debut. I think Pat Brown's on there as well. Yeah, it should be an all right card. I'm probably going to cover about 4 fights on that, because obviously
18,000 people packed in.
Yeah. I was supposed to go. I just couldn't get the time off work, so okay, because I wanted to go to that, but I just couldn't get the time off work. But then obviously we're going into the morning, and then we've got Canelo, Crawford, and then we've got Inoue, Akhmadaliev.
Yeah.
So it's like a marathon on the weekend for fights. Wow.
So what about Akhmadaliev versus Inoue?
I'm going to leave that to you, to experts. I don't know.
I don't know.
That
honestly, if Inoue hasn't tightened up the mistakes he made in the last 2 fights, lunging in early, he's definitely. I can't say who wins definitively, but he will get dropped.
You don't think that southpaw stance from Akhmadaliev and his awkward style is going to give him problems? I think.
No, that's what I'm saying. I said if Inoue has not tightened up the errors he made, right? Because he's been dropped by 2 southpaws, but he's been dropped by a southpaw counter shot.
Oh dear!
While lunging in.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is, like, Akhmadaliev's got a good backhand, man.
That's my point. That's why I said if Inoue has not fixed that mistake he makes, he's
not
going
gonna
to.
fix that, Lennox. He's always fought the same. He's not going to fix that. That's how these fighters are. Like, they stick with their formula. And
I didn't say he did. I just said if he hasn't, you get me, Beats. I'll speak English. Yeah, I said if he hasn't, what I see happening is he's getting dropped again.
He should win it. He should win. But you see, to me, what might do him is overconfidence. You see, they booked a fight for December already.
With who? Inoue?
Mexican. Pretty decent Mexican fighter. They booked it in already.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, overconfidence.
Not with champions.
But it's on Sunday. I think it should be about 11 o'clock our time. Should be, but make sure you do your research and stuff. And then we obviously Crawford and Canelo on Saturday.
I listened to your point on that, Beat. And I don't know what to think now after I listened to your video.
It's a hard one because even after I'd done my video, right, I looked at the tail of the tape, and you know what I forgot? Crawford's got a 4-inch reach on this guy.
Has he?
Yeah.
Got them long levers.
Got the long and he knows how to use them.
Yeah, he definitely does.
See, my only so obviously I'm going for a Vegas decision.
Oh yeah.
I'm going for a Vegas decision because
okay.
Because when I follow the money, there's more money to be made with Canelo versus this thing. And the other thing, I think Crawford can beat him. My only concern is, does Crawford have the discipline to do what he needs to do consistently? Because the way to beat Canelo, the fights that he's lost and the fights that he's lost that he got credit for the wins, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
All the fighters had to have discipline to do what they wanted for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And not get drawn in. You see the thing about Bivol, which Beats, you remember I said first I said he wasn't going to take the fight, but when he took it, I was like, and everyone's like, oh, Bivol's big. I'm like, I'm 186 centimeters. Bivol is not 6'1". I've been in the gym with Bivol. Bivol's not that much bigger than Canelo. But I digress. But no, he's not. Bivol is not a big 175 pounder.
Because he's come back from that operation and he looks small. Like he's lost muscle mass or something.
When he said he could make 168, he could have made 168 without even really doing too much damage to his body. But the point I was trying to make is Bivol's got discipline. He's going to do what he wants to do for every round. You can't get him out of his game plan.
Yeah, that's
true. Which is kind of why, when Zerdo and them man, they were going on about sparring, the way they spar, Bivol's trainer has him working on something. So Zerdo might have gotten off on him in sparring, and Bivol might have been in there just working a backhand.
Yeah,
trainer might have just been like, "Gee, you're just doing this," and it's 6 rounds, and they'll do. So, point I'm trying to make is Bivol and the man that have gotten to Canelo have a discipline of just doing that. My thing is Crawford gets drawn into a fight. Like, I don't see him having the discipline to just, I'm just going to outbox you. I'm going to hit you with the stick, I know you hate southpaws. I'm going to switch it up, hit you with the southpaw stick, up, down, backhand here, spin out, do it again. Right. Do it again. It's boxing. It's not a street fight. It's not MMA. Yeah, I just outscore you, right? But the problem is, what happens? Does he get clipped and reset and stay on task, or does he get clipped and get drawn into a fight? And my thing is, I don't trust Crawford not to get drawn into a fight.
So the flat-footed.
When does Crawford really get drawn into fights, Lennox?
No, now Beats. When I say drawn into the fight, he gets drawn into fights just because he won all of them, right? He gets clipped. Remember, I said it for years, and he confirmed. I've said the toughest fight he had was Gamboa. He recently said it again. Gamboa rocked him, and he's like, rah, next round. He came back, and you know what I mean? So he gets drawn into fights. Are you going to get clipped?
Yeah, but that's years back. Canelo got clipped by Cotto's brother, didn't he? That's years back.
No, I'm not talking about beats. I'm not talking about getting clipped. I'm talking about how you react to getting clipped. Do you stay on task and keep boxing, or do you want to get it right back? That's what I mean by getting drawn into a fight. Do you get into a shootout immediately after you get clipped?
Yeah, that's when you
get
need
what
to
I'm saying.
Cool head. When you get banged really hard, that's when you need to keep the cool head, isn't it?
That's my point. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can't trust.
Cool head.
I can't trust, because remember, if you are, I'm using the most recent fight.
Yeah.
It's the most. Like, I'm using Bivol because Bivol is the most recent. When Canelo clipped Bivol backed up, reset, jab, keep doing what I'm doing.
Sheen, isn't he? Does that with them.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean by discipline. Like, here's what I'm doing. I don't care what you're doing. Who said it recently? Buddy McGirt. He said something interesting. He said, these men they make you move to their rhythm. They make you dance the way they want to dance. That's what Bivol and what's his name and Usyk do. So you got to have that level of discipline. So I don't care what you do. Here's what I'm here to do, and I'm going to do this because we got 12 rounds. If I get you out of here, I get you out of here. Not going to rush it. And I think that personally, that's what it's going to take for the smaller guy to beat the bigger guy. Now, do I believe it's going to happen? Not really.
Okay. So you think, you're with Beats and you think Canelo's going to do it?
I think that even if Crawford wins a clearly won fight, he's not going to get the nod. I think for him to get a win, he'd have to stop Canelo, and I don't see that happening.
Okay.
If he stopped Canelo, that'd be like, whoa.
But he's never been stopped, has he?
Yeah, that's why I said I don't see that happening, but I don't see them giving him a decision either.
He could stop him though. Cuts. I think man, that wouldn't shock me, if he stopped him on cuts. Because he's gonna land that jab. That jab is that southpaw jab is gonna land. It's gonna land it. He's gonna land with regularity. Unless Canelo bangs him really hard to the body and then he gets a change of heart. And he gets really defensive. He's going to land that jab.
And if he's got the reach advantage and he's good on the in and out, right? He's got quicker feet. He should be able to land the jab at will.
This is going to be a good fight, man. Looking forward to it. Man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's honestly what my only investment now is. Like, I just hope it's a good fight. That's it. It's like, it's not one of them ones where I'd say don't put any money down, don't bet anything, just enjoy it.
Did you guys watch the William Skull fight with Canelo?
Yes.
Only highlights, sorry, so I can't say I watched all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched the entire thing, Beats. You know me.
What did you make of it?
See, I made Canelo. It's a two-way street. It takes two to tango. Canelo didn't cut off the ring. He was disinterested, and even when he got a chance to stop Skull and engage and fight, he didn't. He didn't press the fight. So at the end of the day, while everyone want to talk about running, there's two men in there. And what I don't know if it was the lack of interest or Canelo's always had bad feet. Then he had the dodgy knee. He had the knee operation. So if you move on him, that's really the kryptonite, because he's just not and he's not even pushing himself to move anymore. You get me? But he wasn't even trying to cut off the ring, because we know he could cut off the ring. He cut off the ring against Amir Khan. Like, he's cut off the ring. He's only not been able to cut off the ring against elite fighters.
Yeah, Beverly struggled, man. He was so frustrated. He was picking him up and throwing him.
He doesn't like that Cuban or African American style. That's for sure.
Light feet.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that. He doesn't like people who punch on the move.
Well, that's the Cuban, like Floyd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Austin Trout behind that jab and that feint had him in all sorts. But he scored that Canelo got a knockdown, a legit knockdown, and they gave him the decision. He was lucky to win that night. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you could pot shot him or counter him effectively and get out of range or give him an angle, he loses his head immediately.
Yeah, he's emotional.
Yeah, he loses his head. You know what I mean? Like the way Lara was just pinging his head off and spinning him.
Frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's boxing. That's what I'm saying. It's boxing. People forget it's hit and not get hit.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? That's why I don't buy the whole running thing. Like the ring's got 4 corners. If you've ever trained to some extent, any decent trainer will tell you cut the ring off, step where your guy's going. You know what I mean? Throw a jab in the midsection. There's ways to cut the ring off, stop him moving. If you're not doing any of that, just doing a little pendulum head movement, walking forward flat-footed, and the guy's doing pirouettes around you, it takes 2 to tango. You can't say he was running. You weren't doing anything to stop him.
Wow. We'll see, man. Like Crawford, man. I didn't like picking against Crawford. I really didn't. But the inactivity is really doing my head in.
That's a big factor. Inactivity, and unless, you know, I mean, I know guys who stay sharp in the gym, but unless you're going to go in there and have full blown, you know, what they call them, smokers that Mike Tyson used to have with 10-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
You know, like what happens is you get used to the 14s or 16s that you spar in, the head guard, and even the mouth guard that you use in sparring is different from your fight mouth guard. Them changes, you know what I mean? Like when it comes, timing is really about, for the most part, it's about your hand speed. Your hand speed is different in 8s or 10s from 14s and 16s.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's just physics, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's also, if you're a counter puncher, you need to have your timing down perfect. So if you've not had the practice of having that timing, you know, Crawford could be doing a lot of things to mitigate that, but that's a factor. You've not done it in a year. I don't even understand how the man do it.
In 10s, isn't it? He'll be sparring Steve Nelson in 10s.
Well, you'd have to.
I would have thought. You know what I mean? He's got to be prepared. He can't have anything being a surprise for him on that big night.
You know? Yeah, and the fact that Canelo spent money on sparring this time too. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's got this top former Cuban amateur. There's like his main sparring partner switch. See, he had I've seen.
Okay.
And then he brought in Boots, so he paid. You know, normally he's got like his normal group of people that he spars with, but he flew man out for sparring. So he's obviously taking this seriously.
Rob the old mongoose says Sean Porter was outboxing Crawford before he turned the heat up on him. He done well. I don't know if I don't know about outboxing him though.
You know what? I just had a conversation with a mate of mine who's training, and he just came out of the gym, and I said something I thought was funny. I said Sean Porter's had a lot of fights, but he's never actually had a boxing match.
Okay.
So saying Sean Porter outboxed anyone, he's never outboxed anyone in his life.
He did outbox Danny Garcia.
Did I ever watch that? Oh, Daddy didn't throw any punches, so.
Yeah, man. It should be good anyway. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I'm going to catch everyone up. It's been good. It's been a good hangout. Productive discussion. Anything anyone else wants to say? Do you want to advertise your show? Your channel, I should say, October?
There's me thinking, what show? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm doing a live watch along on Saturday for the Matchroom show. So please feel free to join in. You know, I like to engage. I call it conversations and commentary because sometimes I drift off from the fights and we just end up talking about all sorts of crazy stuff. So mine's a little bit different, but it's always fun. Beats, as you know, it's always a pleasure. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Beats' channel, get subscribing. He is the voice that I need to motivate me when I'm running. Beats, I can't express how much comfort I get from listening to your voice when I'm plodding down that canal, whether it's raining, you know, dark, sunny, whatever. But yeah, I like the way you break stuff down. Lennox, it's good to hear your voice again. I haven't spoke to you in ages. I see you out and about on Twitter, so it's good to catch up with you in here. It's been a fun hangout. Beats, we've got to do it again. I keep saying this, and it's been ages because the last time we were talking, it was about Puff Daddy, and I think he's going to get out, do 2 years, because everyone looks like they're a co-conspirator, so they couldn't really nail him with anything anyway. And now we've got all the Epstein files. There's so much stuff going on.
Oh, bloody hell, Epstein.
In America.
I'm logging off right here.
Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. But yeah, Beats, we've got to link up again, man. We've got to do it again.
All right, then. Excellent. Peace. Appreciate everybody in the chat. October, Lennox, and Danny, Fight Fan Live. It's been good. Peace.
Au revoir.